We are in the midst of a national teacher shortage, and one of the most concerning aspects of that is the lack of special education teachers. This article that I'm going to go through discusses that. It is headlined, NC schools are struggling to hire special education teachers. Parents are filing complaints. And the subheading says new complaints follow years of worsening shortage of special education teachers that's leaving schools without qualified faculty and students without properly provided services. This was posted on January 24th on WRAL News. So we're going to get into this, but the first thing I want to ask is that you please like this video, also subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and with your help, I know that we can do that. So let's take a look at this. Again, NC schools struggling to hire special education teachers, and I can tell you right off the bat that this is not exclusive to North Carolina. So the article says North Carolina schools are increasingly struggling to hire and retain qualified special education teachers, leaving some students without properly trained faculty who know how to provide specialized services. A worsening shortage of such teachers is also leaving schools vulnerable to state scrutiny over whether they're following special education law, state records indicate. There's no official record of how often people file complaints of unqualified staff providing special education services, but a review of state records shows it happens frequently across the state and that schools are increasingly at risk of violating state and federal guidelines. So what's particularly unique about special education is that, as this article points out, there are specific laws and guidelines that you have to follow. One of the reasons that I did not go into special education, despite the fact that I have completed all my coursework on it, all I have to do is take the praxis in order to become certified. The reason that I did not want to go into special education is, number one, it's not something that is on my heart. ELA and literature is on my heart. I love reading and books and writing and all that sort of thing. But also, special education has a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of filling out and documenting and just jumping through hoops to make sure everything is done carefully. And, I've heard horror stories about teachers who have been taken to court because, students weren't given the right accommodations. They didn't receive the special services that they needed and things like that. And that's what is being pointed out here in this article is that, well, there's a shortage of special education teachers, and now people are filing complaints that schools are non-compliant with the law. And that is a very troubling situation. So moving down into this article, it says here that Terry Schmitz, a fourth grade teacher at Swift Creek Elementary School in Garner, said she was asked to provide special education services to 3 students last school year, despite not being certified in special education. She was asked after her school went more than a year without a full-time special education teacher for grades above kindergarten, according to state education officials. During that time, a long-term substitute was the head of the classroom, records show. In February, the school hired a permanent teacher who was emergency licensed on a permit to teach and also not certified to provide special education services. Now, there was an article that I posted, or a video I posted a while back, which talked about a similar issue where a parent was outraged that her child was not receiving didn't have a permanent teacher. And this particular child was supposed to receive special services and was in this specific situation. So when schools don't have a certified special education teacher, They are just having to grasp at straws and find anyone they can to fill that role, or at least to oversee the special services at the school. It says here the state found the school system didn't comply with federal special education law because it lacked a certified teacher. I was worried about students getting accommodations afforded to them in their IEPs, Schmidt said. Those programs are legally binding documents that require certain services and accommodations to help students with disabilities learn. So just like I said, this is an issue. And moving down here, let's see here. It says that this has been going on for decades. Additionally, going down here, it says the solution is to make special education an attractive profession, not a job, a profession that's respected and honored. Our teachers are given the pay, the compensation, the respect, the time to do their job well. Many schools are filling vacancies with emergency replacements and substitute teachers who aren't sufficiently licensed, but those unqualified teachers aren't legally allowed to be the primary providers, yada, yada, yada. In an effort to hire more teachers, they've had an advertising campaign and, have tried to make other moves to attract teachers. Parents are not happy. The article goes on to talk about how parents have filed complaints, and just it's a mess. It is a mess. And this video isn't to place the blame on anyone in particular or anything like that. So don't take it in that way. This is just something that is a tough situation within the field of education, because again, you just don't have teachers. I mean, to put it very bluntly, people do not want to work in special education. That's what it comes down to. People are not attracted to that position. People don't want to work SPED. And that is myself included. And I explained to you why. I didn't have SPED in my heart. I love English. I started out as an ESL tutor, just tutoring people in South Korea and China online. And my career has spiraled from that. And I wanted to get into education because I had a knack for ELA. I like teaching. And now I'm continuing to study so that I can eventually do research and possibly teach at the college level. So that's kind of my thing. And, every teacher has their reasons for getting into education. So this is not the teacher's fault. You can't fault people for wanting to go into education for one thing. I mean, it's just like I said, there aren't enough people that want to work in special education. So what is the solution? Well, as this article points out, schools try to fill these SPED positions with anyone that they can find, but they are not compliant with state and federal law. So parents are complaining. And do they have a right to complain? Yeah, they do. They do. And as a matter of fact, they should complain. And as the article points out, well, if you want to get more teachers in the field or in the area of SPED, you need to make the job more attractive. And this just goes into, I mean, there is so much that can be unpacked in this, because, one of the things that is suggested is raising the pay for SPED teachers, incentivizing the position to get more people into, and making it seem like an esteemed position. See, that's something that I will say from my personal experience. I have witnessed that at the school that, I'll just say that what I have seen is that in schools where I've worked in, teachers are given bonuses for student achievement. They have student learning targets, SLTs, and so they have to prove or show student growth during the year or on a standardized test. And if they meet a certain target, they are given a bonus. Well, SPED teachers do not get those same bonuses, at least from what I have seen. I have seen that case where you have a school that is not offering any kind of bonus to those SPED teachers. So when you see other teachers getting bonuses and you're working SPED and you're not getting that same treatment, it's like you don't feel recognized. You don't feel like you are seen. And I'm not making this up. I'm not just trying to say this because I'm not a SPED teacher, but these are valid concerns and things that my coworkers have brought up in the past. They have said that's how they feel. Like, why aren't we getting any kind of bonus or anything? So it's a mess. It's a mess. And it's just another one of those things that it's like, something has got to change within the U.S. education system. And a lot of the videos that I post here are to bring awareness to these issues, different things that are going on. And there are some things that I just am not going to cover because they are graphic in nature, very problematic, triggering, and frankly, just difficult subjects to talk about that, and you can probably imagine what I'm talking about, but there are a lot of things going on in the field of education. And what is the solution to finding more teachers? And not just teachers, but SPED teachers. I don't know, but like I said, I make these videos to bring awareness, and I always want to hear your thoughts on these issues. So please make sure that you leave a comment down in the comment section below. If you're a teacher, tell me your experiences, what you have seen, and possibly solutions to this issue. Especially if you're a SPED teacher, how do you feel about this? And what could be done to incentivize more teachers to become SPED teachers? Parents and everyone else in between, make sure that you let us know your thoughts. And don't forget, like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you always get notifications from Classroom Camp. That's all I have for you this time. See you later.